Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Throwback 200 here for the 250th Elite Racing League Cup Series race. This iteration being the Belly Up Sports Cup Series here on the Elite Racing Network. My name is David Westergreen, and joining me tonight is Zach Evans and my as my co-announcer David Huckleberry, the producer, who will no doubt jump on fixing up the headings there on the screen. We've also got Sam Boutwell on race control tonight. And Zach, it is Kansas with just a couple of races left in the chase, a tight championship battle between all of our contenders after playoff driver Gavin Hibbs won at Talladega last week. Uh, it's been a fun season, and I think these guys are going to continue to put on great shows here tonight at Kansas.
Yeah, coming into Kansas tonight, we have four drivers within 10 points in that championship battle you were talking about. Blake Reynolds leading the way by 3 over Ethan Stanley, 7 over Daniel Falkingham, and 9 over Gavin Hibbs, last week's winner at Talladega. Undoubtedly going to be an exciting one here at Kansas tonight, a place that has provided some playoff theatrics and postseason drama in past Belly Up Sports Cup Series season, and I'm sure we'll once again do the same in this 250th race in series history.
Yep, should be an exciting one. And we've got a number of variations regarding like the next gen car and these track updates that have been continuously being pumped out, and it'll be fascinating to see how the car runs on the high banked progressive banking here at Kansas. It's going to be intriguing. We're seeing some pretty interesting qualifying results. I'm not seeing a whole lot of our championship contenders up near the front of the field thus far as we get ready to announce the 4D Racewear Pull Award winner. And I think qualifying is over. We got a couple of guys still yet to finish their laps. 40 drivers are here tonight. We will start all 40 of those cars, and we are gridding now. So the 40 Racewear Pull Award winner is Garrison Hogan for the Channel 199 team. He will be flanked by the fantastic qualifying effort by Dusty Dewar, who starts second. Scott Crump will start third in a Lake Norman row 2. That's flanked by Tate Lytle. Tyler Pop will roll from P5. Alongside him will be Ryan Borges in 6th. 7th will be Ethan Burrell. He'll be side by side with Josh Chin in 8th. 9th starting spot will be Jonathan Cutlip. Chad Frankenfield running one of those elite throwback cars here in the 250th race. He'll start in 10th. It'll be Jesse Racimus in 11th, followed by Ethan Stanley for Channel 199 in 12th.
On the 13th starting position, we have Andrew Rucker. Matthew Weeks will line up 14th. Going back to row number 8, Blake Reynolds, one of those championship contenders. He'll start 15th. Cale Pacumer, World 600 winner, starting in the 16th position. Ryan Gable rolling off from 17th. He'll be alongside the Pro Edge number 23 of Trey Holmes. We go back to the 10th row. Daniel Falkingham will start in the 19th position. Gavin Hibbs, coming off that win last week, in 20th. Ty McIntosh and Rob Mooney will make up the 11th row in their Fords. Michael Hosick and Seth Rawls will be on row number 12.
Row 13 is chase driver Justin Vandermarl looking to move up in that grid. Jared Rexing starts there in 26th. Kurt Gibson and Corey Abbott will make up row 14. Corey has already requested an EOL. He'll be starting from the rear of the field. Gilberto Javier Gomera and Gerald Campbell make up row 15. Gerald running a throwback to his championship season back in 2021. Mark Rebelos and Ray Bracey make up 31st and 32nd on the grid. Brent Jones, 33rd. Carlos Acosta, 34th. Another couple of throwback paint schemes tonight. Michael Goodman will roll from 35th. He'll be flanked by chase driver Trey Eidson in 36th. 37th will be Paul Mikolajczyk looking to move forward. He'll be flanked by Jaden Racimus there in 38th. And rounding out the field, our final row, it'll be Harrison Talon in 39th. Nigel Stock starting in 40th.
So I chuckled a little bit with the Dustin Dewar thing, and here's why. You'll notice he didn't even bother taking the grid. After last week, he does have a penalty. He will be held a lap as part of his cumulative tallies over the course of this season. So he got, his second best qualifying effort. He is a former pole sitter in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series at Talladega, but his second best qualifying effort in a career that has spanned more than 200 starts in this series, and for all the good, he gets the second pit stall. That's what he gets for it.
He'll be hoping for an early caution, but Dusty Dewar will go a lap down to start the race as a result of those cumulative tally penalties, as you mentioned. So Garrison Hogan will be flanked by Tate Lytle. Everybody in the outside row will move up one spot, and the pace car will drop off and set us free for 134 laps here at Kansas. The Throwback 200 will be green now. Garrison Hogan and Tate Lytle into the restart zone. We are racing from Kansas. Equal is both lanes here through turns 1 and 2. Nobody able to get a big jump early. It is Lytle and Hogan side by side, just in front of Crump, Borges, then Pop and Chin. That whole group still side by side. Almost looks like last week at Talladega a little bit. Garrison Hogan's finally going to clear Tate Lytle and line us up as I think Gavin Hibbs got a piece of the wall coming off turn 4, but he managed to make up a couple of positions early. He's going to need that as as he chases those drivers around him in points. I'm seeing Daniel Falkingham is no longer on the racetrack, and that's a championship implication type of moment right now.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if he maybe lost connection or what the case may be, because he was making some moves on that first lap trying to move up from that mid-pack qualifying position he had of 19th, but it looks like he is not in the server at the moment.
See if Daniel Falkingham does drop the packets and fall out of the race. That would be something that as championship contenders would love to see, as Tate Lytle rockets to the outside lane on Garrison Hogan. 56 car looking for the race lead. He will not get it at the start-finish line. Hogan able to lead the lap. Lytle, though, in that outside lane. We'll see both grooves used on this progressive banking. Josh Chin is up by the wall. So is Ethan Stanley. Hogan down at the bottom of the racetrack. So is Tyler Pop. The battle for 4th is on between Chin and Pop as they roll through this top 5. You got Borges right behind. Chad Frankenfield working the inside lane in that number 15 car, a little reminiscent of the Brad Keselowski 2 from the late 2010s. And that's the car that Chad won the 2020 Daytona 500. I think it was 2020. It was one of those very early in Elite's time. 2019. See, there you go. I think it was before we had divided up the Daytona 500 as well into 2 seasons.
Well, so it was the very first one. So it was in the November of 2019. That first season kind of ran from 2019 into 2020. So it's kind of awkward. It doesn't really fit in with what has become the A season and B season that we know now. But yeah, that would have been the inaugural Daytona 500 for the Belly Up Sports Cup Series.
I want to say I was running in that race. I could be mistaken. Yeah,
I saw your name in the pylon when I was watching the video clip today.
One car in the wall.
You finished, but you were there.
No, it was at the back. I'm sure. I wasn't nearly. I didn't have a good finish last week either. It's still been true. Daniel Falkingham did drop from the race. Did get packet lost. Ryan drew Rucker hard in the wall. He and Ryan Gable racing side by side. Rucker will now lose a spot to Caleb Pecumer. Another to Justin Vandermarl. And the Lake Norman teammates will be side by side as Rucker continues to regroup. Tyler Pop just got way loose and out of shape in turn 2. He's going to lose several positions up in front of this group. You can see Ryan Borges streaming by the 14. Another one goes around, and that's going to be the yellow. It's Michael Goodman. It's Brent Jones, Harrison Talon.
There's no yellow still. How is there no yellow?
There's the yellow. Corey Abbott was one. He's got a meatball flag. Caution is out. That's just what Daniel Falkingham needed. He has just reconnected to the server. He's going to be a couple of laps down. 5 down to be specific. It's really going to be the caution Dustin Dewar needed.
Yes.
This started, well, we can even go up. This started way up in the front here ahead of Nigel. Looks like it started around Ray Bracey, and is that Kurt Gibson?
Kurt Gibson was the car that got around first.
Well.
He scatters.
Yeah. And Corey gets a big piece of Kurt, shifts up to the top, and then Brent Jones and Harrison Talon and Nigel Stock all crash trying to avoid spinning cars. We didn't really get a great look at the way that started just yet, Dave. I know the late caution has ought us all bamboozled. Trying to see if it was contact between Ray and Kurt that started this off, but let's see if there was. Yeah, Kurt's already loose and sideways out of the groove. There it is. Yeah, Ray, a bit of an innocent bystander, and then you've got Corey getting a big piece of Kurt there coming off turn 2. Got out of shape on him.
And that seems to be something we've seen a lot in practice tonight, where, leading into this race, where the car, it's a lot of complaining about the car being very tight, very tight, very tight, but at some point, you put so much wheel into a tight race car, it snaps loose on you, and I fear that's probably what happened to Kurt Gibson there.
Yeah, it's exactly what it looked like. I do wonder if Paul Mikolajczyk hit anything. If he didn't, that is a remarkable save, that 77 car to get around. He had quite the trip. Because I don't think he ever hit Kurt.
I think you're right. Yeah, if he missed Kurt here.
And I don't think he hit anything, but he goes for about a 720, maybe even a 1080. Might have been a little contact on the right rear.
There's one loop. Hey, he saved it
just
one,
360.
Which one loop is still a bigger number than the number of games the Flyers won against the Hurricanes in the playoffs. So
I knew you'd be able to work it in.
So congrats to Paul for that. He's an overachiever, that guy.
Dusty Dewar gets the lucky dog. The second place qualifier will take advantage of that. Bunch of drivers at the rear of the field pitted. Our first group did not. Garrison Hogan remains the race leader. He's led every one of our 10 laps thus far. Tate Lytle runs in second, Scott Crump third, Josh Chin fourth, and Chad Frankenfield rounds out your top 5. It's Ethan Burrell, Jonathan Cutlip, Ryan Borges, Tyler Popp, and Matthew Weeks rounding out the top 10. While we have it, as we get ready to restart this race, a note on your pylon, you'll see those cars in blue with orange numbers. Those are your chase cars, your chase contenders. You won't see all of them out there tonight. I know at least Daniel Gore is away at a concert tonight, so just 13, I believe, chase cars tonight. Those will be the ones in blue with orange numbers on your pylon to the left. Pace car heads down pit road. It's Garrison Hogan and Tate Lytle into the restart zone. Great restart for Hogan. Lytle, unfortunately, caught sleeping just a little bit on that outside lane. He will not be able to challenge Hogan like he was last time. His teammate Scott Crump's going to jump in front and clear that 56 car. Josh Chin's car continuing the blinking trend we've seen from it all season long. And those Lake Norman Chevys side by side as Blake Reynolds goes 3 wide around the outside of Matthew Weeks. Reynolds trying to get back into the top 10 and take a hold of this championship as he looks to go for 3 in a row. Oh, Matthew Weeks into the left rear of Ryan Borges. Borges hangs onto it.
That was an incredible piece of driving from Ryan Borges.
As soon as Weeks saw it, too, you saw him left off the gas and let Borges collect that car. And Matthew Weeks, I'm sure, not intentionally getting into the left rear of that 30, but instantly got out of it. Lost several spots doing so, but all 3 of them still racing here.
Yeah, I have to imagine Weeks just wasn't expecting to have that much of a run on the 30 car there, and like you say, backed out of it once there was the contact, but now they're going to both get around Gavin Hibbs here. Well, maybe Borges won't, but Gavin Hibbs got a piece of the wall there coming out of turn 4.
We've seen that a couple of different times from that 95 car, but as you guys saw last week, and I saw that he hit the wall very hard right in front of me in that race at Talladega, and he still won the thing. I don't even know how he managed to do that. So, it doesn't matter if that car gets dented up or beat up. He might still be contending for the win at the end of the night. Tyler Popp and Chad Frankenfield side by side for 4th, the first battle on the racetrack as we watch Tate Lytle and Jonathan Cutlip working for the 3rd spot. They're chasing down Scott Crump up here in 2nd. Everybody's following Garrison Hogan. The clean air has been strong so far tonight. And the 55 has led every single lap thus far. Front Lido Cutlip single file behind.
That's definitely one. It can be really frustrating with a car that's already a bit on the tight side to the driver's liking from everything we've heard tonight. And then you get in traffic, you add that dirty air, you take away that downforce pressing on the nose of these cars, and it just makes it so much worse and really puts an emphasis on being out in front where Gary. Oh gosh! Who just
Chad Frankenfield. Chad Frankenfield, he's still. The car's broken. Right front's completely broken on this 15 car.
I don't even know if he's going to be able to get that to pit road.
Oh, and now they're going to crash. Oh, they're going to crash into him. It's Gerald, Harrison Talon in the checkup, and that will be the yellow.
We'll have to give a closer look at both how Chad ended up in that situation. Of course, the stack up. That's another fine example of why we should be allowed to give race control the ability to throw a yellow. Because obviously Chad Frankenfield was still rolling, but he's so far off the pace. It was almost inevitable it was going to create a situation. And he wasn't able to get to pit road with all those cars coming either. It looks like he just gets loose and hits the wall. So terrible break there for Chad Frankenfield, literally and figuratively in the case of the right front of the car. And then obviously there you see Harrison Talon spinning. He's got, Gerald Campbell is going to try to avoid. That's a couple of cars straight from 2019 meeting each other. And just a tough situation all around.
Mm-hmm. That's tough. And Brent and Harry are making contact. I think Harry saw the wreck a little better than Brent did here. Take a look at them rolling through turn 3. You're going to see that 15 car is dead stopped up ahead. Oh, Brent got punted by Gerald.
Yeah.
And Harry's still saving it. And then he ends up losing that next gen car. And, I don't have a ton of experience in these. Obviously, I was on track last week, but you don't get the same sensation at Talladega. But I did get to run a next gen race at Chicagoland. And the way this car slides or cuts, it's very difficult to save it once it gets sideways. Bunch of drivers on pit road. We have new graphics to display. The guys who have headed down pit lane include Ethan Burrell, Josh Chin, Matthew Weeks. You'll note lots of guys on the pylon that have stayed out.
A little bit of a split decision this time.
Yeah, but very interesting caution flag there to jump back to the wreck, as we do get the call that it's a race incident because those guys are checking up for the previous incident involving Chad Frankenfield. But yeah, you see the way this car drives, and I think I'm even discussing it for Chad's initial spin as well.
Yep.
The snappy steering, that rack and pinion steering, there's this like soft spot in the center of the wheel where it doesn't really catch, and you feel like you have to turn more and more to get it to actually turn. And then it does catch. There's that little, there's this tiny invisible line. And eventually with experience, with laps in this car, you kind of learn where that line is, and you kind of always hit it with repetition. But early in the race, and when the air changed on Chad's car, when Pop drove to the bottom of the racetrack, Chad, the clean air applied a lot of downforce to the nose of that 15, cut it to the left, and it genuinely got the car out of shape. And Chad turned back to the right, but he turned past that limit, turned past that line. And as soon as he did that, it snapped into the wall. And not unlike what happened to Harrison Talon checking up on the apron, Harrison was trying to straighten out the car that was sideways on the apron, and it cut back up to the right. It's that same rack and pinion steering problem for these drivers. And yeah, that's just part of the next gen, the challenges of this next gen car that these guys all have to do. And there's a new graphic for the latest pit cycle. I like it, Zach. I do.
Yeah. A lot of new toys coming to the Elite Racing Network broadcast.
Look at that. We can sort it by the quickest pit stop, too. The quickest cycle that includes in-lap and out-lap. Doesn't necessarily matter. We'll definitely utilize that for green flag pit stops. That's where that'll be most valuable. Caution flag, it doesn't matter all that much in the grand scheme of things. I do believe that this caution flag was an opportunity for Daniel Falkingham to get one of his laps back. He got the lucky dog. He is now 4 laps down in 38th. Zach, that's going to really, even if he does get a couple of those laps back, I don't expect him to get back in the lead lap. I guess I shouldn't say that. Gerald Campbell, the problem is Gerald Campbell is a lap down right now. As they go back under green flag conditions, he'll steal the next lucky dog from Daniel. So Daniel will need extra cautions as guys go laps down, fixing damage and whatnot. Garrison Hogan back out to the race lead. Tate Lytle able to get a nice restart from third and bypass his teammate Scott Crump. It'll be Cutlip, Pop, and here comes Blake Reynolds using that high outside lane to make up spots like he did in that first run. Reynolds, and he's being followed by Gavin Hibbs, two of the guys looking for this championship. Reynolds looking to go 3 in a row, but got a piece of the wall coming off turn 4. Justin Vandermarl drives on by for 6th, and Gavin Hibbs is looking inside his championship rival for 7th. Jonathan Cutlip just went 3 wide for 2nd and got it. Went sailing around those two Lake Norman Chevys. Now Cutlip's up into 2nd. It has not been a productive chase for Jonathan Cutlip, a guy who's been so close.
Ryan
There's a crash. Ryan Gable, Carlos Acosta, Jared Rexing. And the whole field saved it.
Well, now, they've wrecked behind them. It disappeared on my screen, so I can't give you a car number, unfortunately, Carlos. But there you go. You found it.
It is Seth Rawls around. Just when I was getting excited to talk about the...
And I think it's the same thing.
It is.
Same thing.
Checking up, and then Seth's out of shape, and that's all it takes. But this is a single car incident.
Yep.
Looks like the 25 is all right on the bottom. But yeah, that started way ahead of Seth Rawls and Michael Hosack there. It was between Ryan Gable and Jared Rexing. It looks like maybe even Ryan Gable and Jesse Racimus. We're a little too far back here. Yeah, there we go. So Gable clears Racimus. That was a battle inside the top 10 for 9th spot. And Jesse gets a great run down the back straightaway, gives Gable a little bump, but a little too much bump.
A little bit too much bump.
We could do that last week.
But he had the spirit. Yes.
we could do that last week. We can't do that this week. Ultimately, it turns Gable sideways. Gable able to hang on to it. You can see that, we talked about the line. Gable found the magic line there where he did not overcross it and cut that car back up the racetrack. And meanwhile, that's when the stack up occurs. Seth Rawls gets spun out and the yellow flag flies. Gerald Campbell stealing that lucky dog from Daniel Falkingham for now. That does put Falkingham in position to get the next lucky dog. I will go ahead and throw us to a commercial break here under our third caution flag of the night. You're watching the Throwback 200 on the Elite Racing Network.
Tickets are on sale now for the 5th Detroit, Illinois 300 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. September 11th through 13th brings a full weekend of action with the NASCAR Cup Series, NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and St. Louis's biggest music festival, Confluence. The stars shine on and off the track, and your ticket gets you everything: cars, concerts, camping, food, and fun. Don't miss it. Get your tickets now and save big at WWTRaceway.com.
If you've been waiting for the right time to upgrade, that time is now. Score up to $4,000 off on a 26 brand new Ford Explorer. And our Ford Explorers come with the Bolin Lifetime Powertrain Warranty. So get to Tom Bolin Ford in Hannibal. Heck of a deal, ain't it?
And welcome back to the Throwback 200, the 250th Elite Belly Up Sports Cup Series race. The last incident, that stack up, deemed a racing incident due to the contact ultimately between Jesse Racimus and Ryan Gable, resulting in Seth Rawls getting spun by Michael Hosack. Up front, Garrison Hogan continues to lead this race. He's led all 24 laps so far. Jonathan Cutlip rides in second. It's Scott Crump third. Tate Lytle fourth. Tyler Popp in fifth. I want to say the stage is around lap 60, Dave. Do we have the stage number on hand real quick? There it is. Lap 50 is when we will award stage points. So about halfway to that point, green flag back on the racetrack. We are racing once again as Garrison Hogan, Jonathan Cutlip, Scott Crump, and Tate Lytle lead us towards turn one. Battling still for second here between Cutlip and Crump. Crump a little bit loose underneath that 5 car. 3 wide behind. Ethan Stanley almost got a piece of the wall trying to get around Caleb Pecumer and Ethan Burrell. That's a battle for 10th right now. Ethan Burrell has it. Pecumer and Stanley still 3 wide looking for it. Burrell, remember, did come down pit road, has a little bit fresher tires than these cars around him. Matthew Weeks is another car on those fresher tires. Those are the guys that you're looking to see enter the picture right now. White and red car going to the bottom, cutting 3 wide underneath Gavin Hibbs. That's the Ethan Burrell car. Burrell looking 3 underneath Hibbs and Vandermarl. He'll get both fueled up racing Chevys. All right, so tires are definitely going to be an advantage. Ethan Burrell, Matthew Weeks, and others. I think Ethan Stanley is on this strategy as well. Those guys are looking for a long green flag run right here. They need to clear through this field as soon as possible and get into that clean air. But with this next gen car, I mean, once the tires cycle out and the heat kind of builds up and then reduces and builds up again, I mean, you have that grip for a little bit, but it will go away for Ethan Burrell, Ethan Stanley, Matthew Weeks, and those other cars.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're right, and Ethan Stanley got a little bit of the wall there and lost some momentum there on the high side. That's got to allow Jesse Racimas to pull alongside him.
Hogan still leads ahead of Cutlip as we look into the battle for 10th. It's Ethan Stanley on the outside lane trying to get around Jesse Racimas. Matthew Weeks looking on. Josh Chin and Ty McIntosh are side by side just a little bit back as well. The fighting continuing on. A lot of guys using that outside lane, Zach. And, you know, the common iRacing knowledge is outside equals worse tires, right? But I think in the case of Kansas with this progressive banking, you may be able to run that outside line pretty aggressively without doing too much damage to the car in this next gen, or to the tire rather.
I think you're right. I think the bigger problem, especially with how the setup battles we're having tonight, is either A, getting yourself into defense by running up against the wall, or B, getting squeezed into defense by somebody getting understeering underneath you. And we almost saw that a little further back there right then. Somebody had to kind of back out of running that outside lane as a car washed up in front of them. Couldn't quite make out who it was, but...
And you've got that dirty air to worry about as well. But I think that's kind of the key, is you just need to stay out of the wake of those cars in front of you if you can do it. Ethan Burrell, currently the top car on those fresh tires, running in 5th spot, trying to get under. You can see the corner speed he carries a lot more right now. He's underneath Scott Crump, and I think Burrell's just putting that car wherever he can in order to get an advantage and get that clean air on the nose. Right now it's working on the bottom of the racetrack. He will clear Crump for that 4th spot. Stanley takes over 9th from Justin Vandermarl behind. He and Weeks not making the same kind of ground as Ethan Burrell is right now. That might come back to bite Burrell a little bit later in the run, but for the time being, the 37 car is the one to watch out for as Garrison Hogan continues to lead this race from the front of the field. Oh, looked like Rob Mooney and somebody else got out of shape down the back straightaway. I think they're all right. Hogan's broken out to a 0.6 of a second lead, Zach. I mean, that is big when it comes to this next gen car.
Yeah, it's a pretty healthy advantage at this point. We'll see how much of that he's able to maintain if we stay on a long green flag run here. This is the closest we've gotten to that so far.
All right, Tyler Popp looking to the inside of Jonathan Cutlip for second. Ethan Burrell trying to take advantage As we look back through the field, Tate Lytle trying to hang on to a top 10 spot. Gerald Campbell goes another lap down. That hinders Daniel Falkingham's ability to get back into this race. And Burrell will get around Jonathan Cutlip. Caution's out.
It's the 24. Michael Hosack is nosed into the outside wall just before the start-finish line here.
Oh, and that is just after. Oh, it's Hosack and Rob Mooney. That is just after Garrison Hogan lapped Gerald Campbell. So Daniel Falkingham will not get another lap back. Oh, 24 car loose on the top of the racetrack.
Curious what happened there earlier in the corner. Obviously, ultimately, he gets loose, and that's what brings out the caution, but yeah, I'm not sure if Mooney got a little bit loose there, or Hosack just drove up on him unexpectedly, but obviously it was kind of reacting to that washed Hosack up into the upper lane, and then ultimately got into that wobble.
You know, you think about the way this car has reacted to dirty air in the past. We just saw it with Blake Reynolds, or rather Chad Frankenfield. You know, when the clean air came over the nose, it really changed and upset the way the car handled. For Michael Hosack, it's kind of the same way, right? He drove in behind Rob, dirty air on the nose, slotted downforce, you know, and then the car got out in the clean when he moved up the track. And that's when it broke loose. Very similar issue. Down pit road come your race leaders. Ethan Burrell stays on the racetrack. Those cars that pitted before are going to try to take advantage of having that track position. A lot of guys are going to stay out here. This is going to really jumble up the field. If we've got a couple more ads to play here under this fourth yellow flag, we will do so and come back for the shootout to finish stage number 1.
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
The Lucas Oil School of Racing. Simply stated, we are the professional ranks where the quality of the equipment often dictates the outcomes, and all of our cars are designed to perform and race as close as humanly possible. None of our competitors will have an advantage from engineering tactics. Rather, you will compete on a completely level field with a score of immensely talented up-and-coming drivers, all pushing each other to reach their new heights in their respective pursuit in becoming a professional race car driver. Every year, our top-performing graduates move on to the professional racing ladders of IndyCar, F1, and IMSA. Whether drivers compete in 1 or 2 seasons of our series, when they are ready to move on, they are ready to move. The training you receive in our school is an unmatched, unforgettable, first-class education combining the very best racing instruction and education.
Welcome back to the 250th Elite Belly Up Sports Cup Series race, the Throwback 200, as we cycle a new pit order, a new leader for the first time tonight. Ethan Burrell takes over control of this race. He will be flanked on this upcoming restart by Ethan Stanley as we look for the conclusion of stage number 1. Matthew Weeks looking for stage points as well. Jesse Racimus will restart 4th. Trey Eidson restarts in 5th. Last week's runner-up finisher Trey Holmes will restart in 6th. Harrison Talon will roll from 7th despite a spin earlier in the event. Jared Rexing restarts 8th.
Falkingham had dropped again.
Oof. Yeah, that's probably going to do it. He kept losing the opportunity to get back in the lead lap, but now he's going to be an extra probably lap or 2 down, and it's not going to help things.
No.
Dusty Dewar has recovered nicely into 9th. Ray Bracey runs 10th as we look to restart and get some stage points and continue the Throwback 200. Burrell into the restart zone now. We are racing once again. Burrell and Weeks with a great jump for those Pro Edge Toyotas on the bottom of the racetrack. Jared Rexing, the first car to make a move to the outside lane. He will not get that to stick. Trey Holmes was able to close it off for the time being, but now they're 3 wide here in turn 1. Talon jolts forward. That bottom lane surges. Oh, and look at the
that's
stack
almost
up.
4 wide.
Oh, the stack up through the field. Those cars with the fresher tires trying to take advantage. You see Jonathan Cutlip up on the outside lane trying to roll around those cars on older tires and get back into the stage points. They're 3 wide as Ethan Burrell leads this race. It's Bojo, Trey Holmes, and Dusty Dewar all within the top 10. They're going to put up a wall for these guys with tires, basically. And it's going to be real tough for those guys to make passes around them. Oh, Rexing into the wall in front of Bojo.
And we talked about, at the start of the broadcast, Dustin Dewar qualifying second, having to give up that 1-lap penalty. Now he's, hang on to it, Bojo.
Into the wall goes Bojo, trying to hold on to it, running the scheme. Oh, he got a piece of Gable. And no.
Now that's killed the right front.
Now it's done.
It killed the right front.
Oh. Such a tough spot for Ray there, because you can't pit. You've already taken your set of tires, and then got a little. I don't know if that initial contact with Rexing definitely set this off further back in the corner, but you can see 4 wide. He can't go any further up.
He can't go any higher. He didn't get any room there.
Yeah, and then Gable in the wall that offsets the 7 car, and for about the 4th or 5th time in this race, we've seen a car kind of get a little wiggly. Rock it up to the wall and wipe it out.
He might have been okay if it hadn't been for then it wobbles after the contact with Gable. And obviously that's what sent him into the outside wall in this car that he had put together to resemble. This was going to be one of the throwback schemes we talked about. He won with this design in our truck series in the 2022 B season at Tsukuba on the road course, and now it's hurt pretty bad.
Yeah, it's going to be night over, I think, for Bojo. The right front tire's not connected to the car anymore. That stinks for sure. That was a tough spot for him to be in for, with those older tires and the way that they were racing. I mean, he was 3 wide top. He was trying to make moves. But once again, we've seen this next gen get as soon as it gets a little out of shape or slowed down just a little bit, there's just not a whole lot of room. And there's not a whole lot of save in this car. So, yeah, you mentioned Ray's throwback to his win in Tsukuba. Do you have any other throwbacks for us to talk about before the conclusion of stage 1?
Sure. Let's take a look at. Let's take a look at Gerald Campbell's real quick, because I know that's one you said wasn't even loading on your screen. So let's go ahead and pull it up on the broadcast so David can see it, if nothing else. It is unfortunately getting some damage fixed on pit road, but this is another throwback to the inaugural Belly Up Sports Cup Series season, that 2019-20 combined season. Gerald Campbell was the champion that year. It was his first of 2 championships in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. It looked a lot better at the start of the night with those gold wheels.
That's probably what it looked like back then, though.
Well,
no.
There's a reason why he's aggressive soup on Twitter for sure. But that was gonna be one that we hope to get a look at before it got a little bit of damage on it tonight. The throwbacks have not had good luck so far. We might need to knock out a couple more of them before they disappear off the screen.
I think Carlos Acosta. Yeah, I think Carlos Acosta and Michael Goodman are the only 2 that I haven't seen involved in an incident tonight, because Brent Jones has definitely been involved in one.
So Carlos Acosta, this predates the Cup Series. And this is way before my time, but back in 2017, Elite had a street stock series, and Carlos won a race at Lanier in the street stock. So he has gone way back in the time traveling machine to pull out this scheme that he used in that race almost 10 years ago at this point. Obviously, it is also the 10th anniversary season of Elite, and we're about going to the beginning for this one.
Right. I mean, it's been a long time. There's been a lot of races, but then there's also been a lot of other options for these guys to pull from for some of these throwbacks too. And we'll keep talking about more Elite history throughout this race during this 250th race to continue on, but we will have to go green here and hopefully run some green flag laps consecutively at some point. Ethan Burrell, currently your race leader here after 5 caution flags. Matthew Weeks second, Ethan Stanley third, Trey Eidson in fourth. It's Jesse Racimus fifth, Harrison Talon sixth, Dusty Dewar seventh, Josh Chin eighth, Jared Rexing ninth, and Trey Holmes currently running in 10th within the stage point bracket. Pace car heads back down pit lane. We will go racing once again here at Kansas. Burrell with a strong start, beat his teammate to the punch, and he'll leave Ethan Stanley and Matthew Weeks to battle it out for second as Burrell looks to get into that clean air and control this race as much as he can. 3 wide top is Josh Chin, that purple car. That's the first car on fresh tires. I think it's 2 fresh tires for Josh Chin. He's the outside of Harrison Talon, bullying his way through the outside lane. They're still 3 wide. It didn't really work out for Chin. He's still stuck up top. Oh, into Dewar, into Talon, and it's going to collect Josh Chin. Chin down the track. He almost got Gavin Hibbs. Instead, he will collect Trey Holmes. That will be the stage. Big crash. Scott Crump involved. Tyler Popp involved. And it all started with Dusty Dewar into Harrison Talon.
Well, this has got to be the old philosophical debate. We hear it every time we go to one of these tracks. Dustin Dewar did not have intentions of using the flat here, and that's always the age-old debate, you know, especially if you're inside 3 wide. Should you, shouldn't you? You're not required to. It's up to the cars to the outside to acknowledge you're not doing it. Whatever the case may be, nobody can ever seem to agree on it. Whether you agree or disagree, the net result is Josh Chin and Harrison Talon go around and stack up the whole field here, collect several other cars as a result of that contact.
Right. We've seen it ruled, I think, pretty consistently that car is not required to hit the apron.
Correct.
Under no circumstances is that first car or bottom car required to hit the apron. The other cars have to navigate around without, and it looked like Harrison Talon just got squeezed a little bit. Let's take a look back through the field. Scott Crump, Tyler Popp, a couple of cars that get caught up in this, because when Chin comes down the racetrack, there's just nowhere for a lot of these guys to go. Holmes hard into the wall, Crump hard into the wall. Looks like that was it, though.
Yeah, I think Crump might have actually gotten the worst of this one. Maybe Trey Holmes. Yeah, it looks like Trey has a meatball probably from that contact right there you see in the replay from the onboard of Tyler Popp.
Yeah, and Talon, I think if we can get we'll kind of see it here, but I mean, you see them making contact already. Maybe we can get one more look. Harrison definitely moves down the racetrack and into Dustin Dewar's right rear, and they're 3 wide, but he definitely comes down. But I think he's also trying to give some room to Josh Chin up top. That's a tough spot.
And I think, unfortunately, we're really splitting hairs with the benefit of slow motion here, but I think once he made kind of the big move to the bottom, then Josh all he has is his peripheral to think, oh, okay, I can also go to the bottom, or at least the middle, and that was not the case either. So
you see Harrison gives a little space. Josh comes down a little bit in reaction to that move, but at that point, Harrison's already bounced off of the 32 and slid up the racetrack.
Harrison Talon has stated his intent to appeal that tally.
I think that's fair. I think you could have called that a racing deal or contact on the 8, and it's real likely that just winds up being a racing deal when all is said and done. Are we calling that the stage? Would be my next question. We would have, I think, what, a 2-lap shootout.
We're gonna get a 2-lap shootout here for
2-lap shootout. I'm sure that won't result in any more accidents.
No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Ethan Burrell, Ethan Stanley, Matthew Weeks, Trey Eidson, and Jesse Racimus, the top 5. Dewar made it out okay. He's running 6th. Jared Rexing 7th. Gavin Hibbs 8th. Jonathan Cutlip 9th. Garrison Hogan 10th. Blake Reynolds right on the outside of the stage points. That car is almost sure to be 3 and 4 wide to try and jump into those stage points and try to gain an advantage on Daniel Falkingham and Ethan Stanley, both of whom are a little bit further. Well, some of whom are a little bit further back. Falkingham is way back. Stanley's on the front row. He's starting second here. Definitely in a good spot to pick up some points. Those Pro Edge Toyotas going to try to, I think, take it from this Racecraft number 91 on this restart with a good teammate start on the bottom of the racetrack here. But yeah, so it's Hibbs, Stanley, Reynolds that are the three cars that are battling for the championship with a shot at stage points here, and one of them is on the outside looking in. Pace car down to pit road. Ethan Burrell and Matthew Weeks with a strong jump on the bottom, but Ethan Stanley with a strong jump up top. He's going to be able to keep that 37 car close. Burrell drives up the track to put some dirty air on that 91 entering turn 1. Gavin Hibbs, the first car out of line, looking topside. Really, he's just kind of getting taken 3 wide by Garrison Hogan here.
Ooh. Dustin Dewar was a little bit out of shape there down the back stretch, but keeps it pointed the right direction.
Hibbs trying to find a way up on the outside lane. He will not get it done. In fact, he might have got a piece of the wall. 1 lap to go in the stage. They're 3 wide for 10th. Burrell has it very well under control up front. Trey Eidson falling back. Jonathan Cutlip able to take over a spot there. Blake Reynolds underneath Dustin Dewar. Dewar slams the door on Gavin Hibbs. Hibbs looks to get to the outside lane. He's running 10th. He cannot lose a spot here. He will. His teammate Justin Vandermarl and Garrison Hogan both go by at the line. Burrell wins stage 1. Reynolds 8th place stage points. Gavin Hibbs out of the stage in 12th.
That will definitely reflect in those championship standings. I'm sure we'll get a chance to look at them at the end of tonight's race. Still have 84 laps to go before we crown a winner here tonight, but as tight as that championship battle has been, that could be something we look back on.
Yep. And, Hogan almost in the wall. He and Tate Lytle coming together down the front straightaway. That does not result in a yellow. Tate's going to let up and I think allow that 55 to sort things out. Ty McIntosh jumps all over the 56. They do sort it out. Here comes Hogan now trying to get things back going forward for the pole sitter and the car that dominated the early part of this race. Up front, Burrell with a strong lead. That clean air proving to be invaluable right now. Ethan Stanley trying to chase him down. Jared Rexing just moved up to 3rd, driving around Matthew Weeks. Weeks starting to fall back just a little bit. Looks like those stage points were kind of his ultimate goal. Now he's trying to settle in and find a groove, and that's as the fresh tires are starting to get there to him. Jonathan Cutlip drives around the 11 car. Here comes Blake Reynolds as well. Oh, Ethan Stanley just got a huge piece of the wall off turn 4. It slowed up that 91 for sure. Here comes Jared Rexing looking to make a move. He will not be able to do so. But that definitely slowed Ethan Stanley up dramatically. Lost at least a 1/10 of a second.
Once again, starting to see these cars single out. You can tell Jared Rexing really was trying to wrap that white line to get some clean air on his nose. As soon as Ethan Stanley moved down, you saw that 71 car get tight in the middle of the corner.
Jesse Racimus just pounded the outside wall, lost several spots. He's now 3 wide with his teammate Justin Vandermarl and Dustin Dewar. Jared Rexing in the wall as well. These cars starting to really tighten up with those older tires. It looks like Racimus and Rexing both into the fence in the same lap. And Zach, those are cars that have run a bit more on the top or in the dirty air, especially in Rexing's case. We saw it the last couple of laps. I can't help but wonder if kind of pushing in that dirty air is part of what's contributing to the tire wear and then that wall contact.
Yeah, I think it's just that's the balance you have to walk with this car in these races right now, managing that right front, managing the wear, managing the temperature on it to keep those grip levels in it. And that may indeed be the case for Jared Rexing.
Burrell up front, Ethan Stanley holding second over Cutlip and Reynolds. Rexing and Racimus continuing to fall back. Stanley now under the attack from Jonathan Cutlip, who is the first car on those fresher tires. Cutlip working to the inside, getting that clean air on the nose of the 5. Blake Reynolds just following in his wake right now. Stanley, another little piece of the wall, not as dramatic as either of the ones that got the 71 or the 80, but it's enough to allow Jonathan Cutlip and Blake Reynolds by. This is the battle for 8th. Dusty Dewar just went around Matthew Weeks. You don't say that all that often, but that 32 car he was lightning fast in qualifying. He's been real solid in the race. Oh, I think I just jinxed him. He's through the grass.
You did it. You did it.
Oh,
I didn't do it. And look at all the ground. Dustin Dewar making his 207th start in this series out of those 250 races.
Caution is out. I mean, take a look at what happened to Dewar. Yeah, I mean, did that result in the yellow? It might have at the end here. Transitioning back onto the racing surface. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I would say it did. I'm really surprised. Does it?
It might have just been because he ended up backwards.
I guess.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
And then he immediately towed. I don't know.
Yeah, that's very odd. So right about here. Yeah.
So once the car was facing sideways. Disappointing for Dusty. He really was having a good run. But I guess overcooked it just a teensy bit, and around went the 32. That'll allow Ethan Burrell to, I believe, get back on the same cycle as everybody else. He's definitely going to come down pit road and get the fresh rubber on this 37 car. Let's see if Blake Reynolds and those others do the same. It looks like everybody is planning to maybe one stop this race from here. Whole field heading down pit lane.
You want to play a trivia game, D-West?
I sure do.
I took some time today and went through some of the other milestone Belly Up Sports Cup Series races we've had. Different. So would you like to take a stab at who won the 125th Belly Up Sports Cup Series race? If you want to ask some questions to try and narrow it down for you, I'll be happy to try and answer those.
Give me the year.
Race 125 would have been in the 2022 B season.
I'll go Tate Lytle.
It was not Tate Lytle. I'll give you a hint. I'll give you another hint. It was a race at Richmond in 2022 B. Boy, what? I can't believe that gave it away for you. Would you care to guess how many of the 200 laps he led that night?
200.
198. Close.
No.
Close. That'll probably get the job done on The Price is Right. You didn't go over. It was mathematically impossible for you to go over. Almost. Wait, you did go over. Oh, whatever. Who cares? I did math, and that's where I went wrong. But unfortunately, I don't know if Scott Crump's got to win the 250th after being in that incident earlier, but he did win.
Mm-hmm.
Number 125.
All right, you got any more for me? I fear I'm too.
You'd like to go again? You might actually remember. You might remember the 200th. We made a pretty big deal of that one.
Right. It was last 25A, maybe.
25A at Kentucky.
At Kentucky, I want to say it's either Fody or Stanley. Might have just been Fody.
So I'll do you one better. It was Tyler Fody in the 200th at Kentucky. The 225th was at Las Vegas in the 25B season, which was Ethan Stanley.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
There you go.
I knew they were 25A. That was right when they were dominating for Lake Norman tract. So there's the pit cycle on your screen. I do hope this new graphic is package is providing great info for you folks at home. We haven't been able to use it to its fullest extent, I think. But yeah, obviously you can see Ethan Burrell leads off pit lane. Blake Reynolds there to second. You can kind of look through the running order and see who took tires. Looks like everybody grabbed 4 fresh tires for these upcoming stints. As we get ready to go back under green flag conditions after the 7th caution of the race, Burrell with a strong restart. We are racing again at Kansas. Jonathan Cutlip clears past Blake Reynolds for the 2nd position. Reynolds backing up that outside lane, and his teammate Ethan Stanley just a little bit. It's going to allow Gavin Hibbs to move up into 3rd and get that track position behind his fueled up racing teammate. Hibbs already a little on the back foot today after not getting those stage points there at lap 50. But still in a really good spot right here. Oh, Reynolds almost got the wall, hung on to it. Hogan able to drive by. Here comes his other teammate, Ethan Stanley, underneath this 66 car. Blake Reynolds with a bit of a moment in turn 3, and he'll lose several spots here.
Oh, look at a move here from Matthew Weeks to the inside of Jared Rexing. It's going to be for that 8th position.
Weeks, Rexing, then Lytle and Eidson. Fulfilling out your top 10. It's Ty McIntosh just behind them with Jesse Racimus in tow. Racimus and Rexing were 100% excited to see that yellow flag. Those two guys definitely were looking for fresh rubber during that last run. Now they've got it, and they've maintained those, roughly top 12 running positions. Can officially turn. I feel like Paul Mikolajczyk. I can officially turn off the Cubs-Braves game.
Oh.
A 3-run home run by the Braves to put it up 5-1. That'll likely do it. And Zach Evans wins again.
I am living the dream right now. The Braves are very good. The Hurricanes have not lost a playoff game. The Montreal Victoire going to the Walter Cup Finals. If only I could translate that to iRacing, I'd be in really good shape.
That's right. We always want that real life success here on this we'll call it a video game.
It is a video game.
But a realistic one.
Sure, but it's still a video game.
But we get on here and announce these things, and we've been doing it for a lot of these 250 races,
I did not go back and do that math. I think that would actually hurt my feelings more than anything if I knew how many of these races I had called and or raced in.
Oh boy, for me it's quite that number is quite high. I haven't raced in a ton of these. I think last week was like my 40th race maybe in this series, but I have between announcing and then producing back in 2021, I've been a part of this league for a real long time.
Oh.
So we kind of look through the field here and go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it looks like we're starting to see some of these guys that have had some early issues starting to claw their way forward. I wanted to make a note of Andrew Rucker being back up in the 13th position after a little bit of a scare earlier in the race around Ryan Gable.
Gable, another one that's trying to claw his way back into contention. He's up to 18th. After those earlier incidents, got half spun by Jesse Racimus, got caught with netcode contact was the ruling between him and Ray Bracey. I don't know if we managed to mention that, but when he drove by Ray, obviously we talked about the tight spacing. It was netcode that hung that 0-1 car into the outside wall and resulted in the caution as Harrison Talons beat up number 8 car, receives a meatball flag. I'm thinking, Zach, that's either an engine expiring or a tire expiring on this 8 car.
Oh, Jared Rexing's going through the grass here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Matthew Winks is going through the grass here. We have a lawnmower race at Kansas.
Matthew Weeks. They must have made contact is what must have happened. Neither of them went around. Caution is still out, or caution is not out.
So what happened here? Because it doesn't look like... No, it's completely separate.
What the heck? Oh my gosh. You're right. Lawnmower race. Oh, goodness.
Matthew saw Jared take off for the grass and said, "Hold up, wait for me."
Oh man, definitely. Weeks definitely got tied up into the 56 car of Tate Lytle.
Yes.
But in this exact split second that Jared Rexing's car got loose on the outside lane and cut to the grass, Weeks doing the exact same thing is. Oh, that's a moment right there. My goodness.
This needs Freebird.
Ethan Burrell continuing to lead this race with Jonathan Cutlip really starting to work on him right now. That gap is close to under 0.2 of a second. Up front as Weeks tries to regroup. He is back to 19th. Certainly not what the Pro Edge Racing fans at home want to see. Dropped fully, or
Yeah, he's gone.
Josh Chin has had the same issues Daniel Fulkingham has, and that's honestly, Zach, that's the first time that 93 car has. Oh, there's a meatball. Oh, that's the black flag for
Connection. Yep.
the connection problem. Yeah. And it's the first time it's happened, but he's been under those connection woes all season long. So it's surprising to me that that's the first time we've seen anything manifest from Chin's connection.
Yeah, there were definitely some moments last week where it was a little sketchy with the close quarters racing at Talladega and his connection, but he survived it. Unfortunately, it has bit him tonight.
I managed to follow him directly into a wreck, so I can concur. There were some other connection issues going on at Talladega last week, so yeah, it's been a plague biting, and I think it's kind of biting as iRacing continues to grow its file size and it puts strain on older and older computers that were purchased in, well, basically 250 Elite Elliott Sports Cup Series races ago, basically for a lot of these folks, right? And within that time, I mean, you got guys. I know Dave's already had to replace his computer, and you've replaced your computer.
I have.
I haven't, and we're fingers crossed. We're hoping that thing doesn't kick out on me anytime soon. But I'm starting to get the connection woes, and I'm sure it's not going to be too long before things start to break down on me. And you can see that throughout the field. These guys are bought the computer a while back, and that's what's happening. Front. We do have a battle for the race lead. First time all race long under green flag conditions. We might have a change for the lead. Jonathan Cutlip inside of Ethan Burrell looking for the lead at Kansas, and I believe he's got it here in turn 2. Jonathan Cutlip drives this number 5 Fueled Up Racing Chevy to the front. He and Ethan Burrell.
Top 10.
Yeah, he fell one spot, and he might fall another. Jesse Racimus is to the inside of Rucker here. Rucker very nearly spun Ty McIntosh out. Ty, I think, might have had a brain aneurysm if he got spun out right there after the run he's had. It's been very quietly a nice night for Ty McIntosh.
I've tried not to mention that Ty McIntosh had a good night, because the last thing I want to do is announcers jinx him with the season he has had tonight. But yes, he is in the top 10. I don't think we were able to stay quiet much longer about it, unfortunately.
Jesse Racimus around Andrew Rucker. This battle continues on. Good to have Dave back, and hope everything's all right over there.
Next in line behind Andrew Rucker is Ryan Borges. Well, just make a note of his presence at the very least, because
oh well.
Did I do that? Did I do that?
Oh.
I was going to say he was the most recent of our 52 winners in Belly Up Sports Cup Series history. He's also our most recent caution. Let's take a look at it, Huck. Golly.
Oh, wow.
I don't think there was a whole lot Mr. Borges could do about that one. Andrew
64.
Rucker gets loose on corner exit, and it was right as Borges was opening up the wheel for his corner exit. That's a shame.
I mean, right as we were talking about him too, right?
Man, that's probably the best one I've had in 250 Belly Up Sports Cup Series races.
Oh my! Ryan Borges and Andrew Rucker crash here on the front straightaway to bring out the 8th caution flag of the event. Jonathan Cutlip, the race leader. Tyler Pophead pitted just as the caution came out, maybe with the pit road there still being, that 14 car is heavily damaged from the earlier wrecks. I think he might have taken a wave around back a couple of cautions ago. But this should, if my calculations are correct, and as you like to say,
I don't do the math. I don't do the math.
You don't do the math. We're sitting at right at the fuel window here. I think everybody's going to head down pit lane. Rucker gets the tally from race control Sam Boutwell, and we'll take a look at what could be the final stop of the race. I don't think you can make a strategy call here. There haven't been too many laps since the last caution flag, but it seems like you want to set yourself up for success if we do happen to go green the rest of the way. Cale Pecumer might have just gotten a speeding penalty.
Oh, well, that won't do it.
So the EOL pop up for him. Cutlip through pit lane. Reynolds trying to get there. I think Jonathan Cutlip is going to win the race off pit road. And it'll be Reynolds, Stanley, then Burrell. Burrell losing some spots there on pit road. Hogan, Lytle, Vandermarl, Eidson, Weeks picking up a bunch of spots. Matthew Weeks getting off pit road very nicely. And Cale Pecumer yielding those spots there after the speeding on pit lane.
David, one throwback we haven't talked about a lot tonight belongs to one of the favorites here in the YouTube chat every week, and that is Brent Jones.
I would love to talk about Brent Jones' sponsor, as I even have a minor anecdote is that Brent Jones is the one who invited me to race in Elite, and he was my first teammate.
Well, there you go. So you would have been teammates in that first season when he was running this car all the way back at this one. He showed the pictures from the very first race, the Brickyard 200 in 2019 when he ran this scheme.
And yep, he ran that one. He fresh painted his own scheme for me to run. I didn't run him very well. I was not particularly experienced when it came to iRacing at that point, but it was nice to have a teammate, and I definitely wouldn't still be here if not for Brent Jones back in the day. So I have always appreciated Brent and always look forward to watching him run well. I was really excited when he was leading last week and he promptly got wrecked.
Man, yeah.
I was like, is Brent Jones leading? And he immediately wiped out. And I was like, how do I announcers jinx him from the car? But
you weren't even announcing. Yeah.
I wasn't even up here. Yeah. So it just one of those things. I think he ended up with a real good finish, though. Didn't get sucked up into the rest like I did. That's for sure. So,
one of our day one guys making his 232nd start here tonight, 4th all time as we get ready to go back green here.
Yep, Jonathan Cutlip and Blake Reynolds, the front row, much like a bunch of these mile-and-a-half style racetracks in the next gen have been. It's a battle between two of the best. Green flag back on the racetrack.
Trouble on the restart. I don't know if it's got to bring out a yellow, but I think Ryan Borges may have gone around. Yep.
He did. We'll take a look at it up front. Jonathan Cutlip has control of the race. Ethan Stanley trying to battle in front. It looks like they stacked up big time on the apron, and Andrew Rucker nabbed him another one.
We'll go back to race action here after taking a peek at that. There is your leader, Jonathan Cutlip. And there's the battle for second, Ethan Stanley and Blake Reynolds.
Those Channel 199 Toyotas continuing to be strong in the top 5, but really haven't had control of the race since Garrison Hogan launched with control of the race to start the event. It's been a lot of other guys been able to take command of this race. First it was Ethan Burrell, now it is Jonathan Cutlip having command of this clean air. Oh, Tate Lytle loose on the outside lane, able to hold on to it. He will lose a spot to Trey Eidson just as Ty McIntosh works to the inside of Matthew Weeks. Weeks had a very good pit cycle, made up a bunch of ground, but he's already lost a spot to that 10 car. Eidson works by Lytle. McIntosh and Gavin Hibbs right there as well. Hibbs got the track position, got up to 3rd on that last run. He has just not been able to hold it, Zach.
No. Oh, boy, that is tight there between Ty McIntosh and Tate Lytle as they make their way past the start-finish line.
Ty will bypass Lytle. Lytle's struggling a little bit. When that car got out of shape, I wonder if he heated up those tires. It seems to be the case because the 56 dropped outside the top 10. Yet Gavin Hibbs, as we watch him battle with Tate Lytle, he got up into the good track position in the clean air. He has not been able to hold it. He has fallen back kind of each time that they've gone green for any significant length of time here. So as Hibbs moves forward, he's already made up some spots and gotten into the top 10. I wonder whether that'll be able to be maintained for Gavin Hibbs because he's really, I think, struggled in the long run in this race.
Yeah, we'll have to see for sure. Like you say, he has made his way into the top 10, but it's been a little bit of a challenging night at times for Gavin Hibbs. He'll pull to the outside here of Ty McIntosh trying to pick up another spot.
Ty working that bottom lane. It's not working out for him in terms of making passes, but I do wonder if the 10 car will be a little better on the tire wear come later in the run. Though every time those guys chop the dirty air onto his nose, I think that harms the capabilities of that machine. 3 wide behind them between Gilberto Javier Gomera, Seth Rawls, and Jesse Racimus. 2 Shift Racing teammates just in front of Rob Mooney having a good run in that 84 car as well. Shout out to Gilberto having a good run tonight. We haven't been able to say that a whole lot this year. That car's been involved in its fair share of incidents thus far this season. Good recovery for Seth Rawls. He was backwards in turn 4 as well.
Seth Rawls currently in the 14th position, trying to get around Ryan Gable for that 13th spot.
Trey Eidson inside Garrison Hogan up ahead of this crew, fighting it out for the mid-teens. Up front, it has been Jonathan Cutlip from the drop. Ethan Stanley, Blake Reynolds, and Ethan Burrell round out that top 4. I do want to call attention to Justin Vandermarle's presence in P5 right now. Started 25th, having a fantastic run in the Field Up Racing number 54. We've talked about it, Field Up Racing a lot. He's obviously got a teammate leading the race. Gavin Hibbs is in the championship hunt. But Justin Vandermarle made the chase in this car. It's obviously got an orange banner, blue lettering on the pylon, and he's been a strong driver all season long. He hasn't quite picked up the results, and I think, you can kind of say he flew under the radar a little bit, but a run like this, if he can manage to finish in that same spot where he's running, it'll really provide some of that extra confidence and momentum for next season.
Yeah, it definitely has not been the chase that Justin Vandermarle has hoped for. 28th last week at Talladega, 31st at New Hampshire. But strong showing so far for that 54 car, and we know that that car is capable of putting together good runs like that. A couple of top 10 finishes this season.
The top 10s in this series are not easy to come by. I can tell you that. This group is as skilled and talented as it comes when it comes to iRacing, when it comes to running these races and being fast. You really got to put together a complete race, and Justin Vandermarl is doing that at the moment, but there's still a long way to go here. Roughly 38 laps yet to put together. He's got the pole sitter bearing down on him with Garrison Hogan. Also these two, Trey Eidson, Matthew Weeks. Weeks maybe a little piece of the wall. Weeks on that recovery drive after his adventure through the grass a couple of laps ago. 11 car looks to be all right. Ryan Gable, another car that has been backwards in this race. So too is Seth Rawls. A whole bunch of guys that are on recovery drives here, moving up towards the top 10.
You know, it's funny you talk about how hard it is to even, get a top 10 in this Cup Series. I think you look back at, maybe the early 2020s or whatever, 2 or 3 years ago, you look through the guys who were winning races, you said, some of these guys, if they chose to, they could probably go pro. And we had a couple of guys that, like Colin Bowden, that did end up spending time in the Coke Series. Now it's gone the other direction, where it's like, we have Coke guys coming to the Belly Up Sports Cup Series.
And now going back to the Coke Series, I believe our last two championships won by Blake Reynolds. He is making a return to the Coke Series next season. I believe we've had Logan Helton racing in races with us this season. He's one that has been signed to the Coke Series. I think Falkingham is going to be signed to the Coke Series. Falkingham will need to iron out the computer woes to compete over there as well. But yeah, I mean, a whole lot of guys, and you can see, I mean, we've got, you think about the talent that competes against these types of drivers that are getting that talent, right? I mean, Ethan Stanley, Jonathan Cutlip currently ahead, right, of Blake Reynolds. And, you look back through the field, Ethan Burrell right on Blake Reynolds' bumper.
Tommy Scott, the former winner in this series.
I mean, I've long said it. And Tate Lytle and Tyler Fode didn't have the full-time jobs off the track that they have. Those two guys could have been pro years ago.
I think Cutlip was pretty close to making it this year.
Yeah, and Jonathan Cutlip is the kind of guy that certainly could. Ethan Stanley, the kind of guy that certainly could be a professional driver on this simulator. There's so much talent in this series. Just looking at a guy. I mean, Tate Lytle is a new dad. He has not had as much time as he had in the past.
Sure.
Still running 12th, 13th, very fast, qualified in the top 5. You guys supremely talented. When you can sit there and say, well, 13th is a little disappointing for this former multi-time champion of the series.
And listening to him in the voice chat earlier when we talked about some of the struggles he was having with the handling of that car, you could tell even he was a little confused, was Tate Lytle, trying to figure out exactly what he had done to upset that 56 car. It looks like he has settled into a rhythm now, but he was definitely searching for answers just like the rest of us while he was battling that issue earlier on this green flag run.
On board with Tate Lytle, speak of the devil. Watch him rip around this Kansas Speedway. Got a lane right above that first seam for Tate Lytle. And I want to double check the lap times while we're on board with him. This time he'll run a 31.27. Leader ran a 31.269. Right, that was Ethan Stanley. Jonathan Cutlip ran a 32.0. So Tate Lytle running quick times, about second place caliber times right now. Blake Reynolds was a little bit quicker, though. Blake Reynolds was at a 31 flat. He got to the back bumper of Ethan Stanley. And Zach, I fear we have reached that point in the run That 66 car has come to life.
That tends to be the case when you get a long green flag run, right? We've seen that movie a couple of times. This is definitely the longest green flag run we have had tonight. And I'm curious because we touched on it during that last caution. They should be inside the fuel window at this point. I feel like Blake Reynolds would love to see it go green from here to the end. The question will be how... I doubt too many people have even practiced this many consecutive laps. Will we see a new issue arise as these tires continue to fall off, or will we be able to bring it home these remaining 28 laps without a caution?
Ethan Stanley and Blake Reynolds both have picked up the pace. Jonathan Cutlip starting to hemorrhage a little bit of time. Here comes Trey Eidson working to the inside of Justin Vandermarl. This is a battle for 7th. Matthew Weeks has already bypassed Justin Vandermarl, the 11 car. Another car we talk about a lot of times that comes to life on the long green flag runs. That car is starting to come to life. Weeks ran a 31 flat last time as well. That is over a 10th quicker than both Cutlip and Stanley. So Matthew Weeks definitely not out of this thing yet.
Harold Campbell, you see it did see. He'll probably flash into the frame here in just a little bit.
Oh!
High side of the racetrack, getting lapped.
Let's jump up to second. Battle for second between Blake Reynolds and Ethan Stanley. Battle no more. Blake Reynolds bypasses his teammate. Stanley got a little piece of the wall at exiting turn 4, and Blake Reynolds was able to take advantage, jump onto the apron, and bypass Stanley with 26 laps to go. He has a ton of time to run down Jonathan Cutlip. It is going to require a Herculean effort from Cutlip to hold him off, I think, here. Here's the moment coming off turn 4, last time by for Ethan Stanley. That car picks up a big-time tight condition. Didn't get a piece of the wall, but Reynolds jumps to the inside and clears past his teammate. Shade has come over the racetrack here at Kansas. That is probably going to help those cars that are struggling a little bit with tire wear. Thinking Ethan Stanley, Jonathan Cutlip. Ethan Burrell saved a little bit. He's caught up to Ethan Stanley. Stanley's car is so tight in the middle of the corner. That's where Burrell needs to make the move. Maybe exiting turn 4. That's kind of where this 91 car is struggling the most. Burrell looking for that clean air, working to the inside. 91 car tight up the racetrack once again. Burrell trying to get underneath Ethan Stanley. He'll be forced to push. Oh, he got him sideways. He spun him out. Oh, Burrell got a piece of Stanley. Stanley sideways. He'll go flying back up the track. He did not collect anybody. He did manage to woe it up. Burrell, Burrell wasn't trying to spin him out, but that transition back onto the apron with the contact in the rear certainly upset the 91 car. Oh, no, it's getting sideways before. Burrell never even touched him.
Yeah, that's
until
close.
Right there.
Right.
That thing started getting upset before Ethan ever got there, I think. We'd have to go like right here.
Close. The darkness doesn't help either. The cloud cover, the shade. It's hard to tell. You might be right, but I can't tell for sure. Man. Well, that
Stanley was telling him
a
that
couple
he
of things.
got to his bumper and then he got loose, but it was before he made contact that he got loose.
Okay. So Stanley doesn't believe there was contact then.
I didn't see it, but it is real hard to get an exact.
Obviously there was, but not initially. Right. So, now, surely everybody will come to pit road for tires here, right?
You would think. I think that's got to be the call.
Imagine.
I also think that there's a real possibility we see some 2-tire calls here.
We could. I've got you teed up for another trivia question here, but I want to see if you're right. If we see some 2-tire calls here first, and then we'll circle back to that.
I do not envy race.
Get to see it in real time now.
On the caution. Here we go. Jonathan Cutlip on a pit road. He never lost the lead to Blake Reynolds. Right side's on.
Right side's up.
That's it. Jonathan Cutlip is off pit road. 2 tires for the 5. Is he the only one? Garrison Hogan with 2. Jesse Racimus with 2, but Blake Reynolds takes 4. He's out third. 3 2-tire calls. Cutlip keeps the fresh air. All right. Let's jump to the trivia question. What you got?
All right. So, again, I was looking at some of the milestone races. I think this one just selfishly is my favorite of the people who won one of these milestone races. It's a little bit of a random number. Bear with me. 75th Belly Up Sports Cup Series race. 2021B. I'll start you with a season.
If it's your favorite, it can't be somebody typical, right?
It is. It is not a typical. It might be an only. Let me fact check that real quick.
Wow. 75th 2021B. Man. Can you give me the track?
Okay, it is not an
can't
only.
even...
It is actually one of 4. But it was the last of the 4. It was the last of the 4. It came at Michigan.
Chuck Sweeting.
You got it. Chuck Sweeting.
Yep. I wonder how Chuck's doing. I hope he's doing all right.
I hope he's doing great. 41st to 1st to win at Michigan.
The only reason I know that is because I was on the same strategy Chuck Sweeting was on and ran out of fuel half a lap to go and finished like 30th.
Chuck Sweeting was one of the first people I started taking notes on when it came to those fuel strategy races. I've never won one like that, but I've stolen some damn good finishes with some fuel mileage, and I always think about Chuck Sweeting when I do it.
Yep, he was a master. He was a master of the fuel saving craft. I needed some of that day. He had me beat. But
I just wanted to make sure we got the Chuck Sweeting name drop on the 250th broadcast once I found that stat.
Yeah, he hasn't raced with us for a long time, but he was darn good at the long run. Sam Boutwell deemed that incident a racing incident between Ethan Burrell and Ethan Stanley. The green flag is back out. Jonathan Cutlip on 2 right side tires takes off. Looks like Gavin Hibbs got a penalty, I think, for an unsafe pit entrance. He'll restart way in the back of the field. They're 3 wide for second. Burrell to the outside of Hogan. He'll have to back out of it. Reynolds and Hogan teammates side by side for second while Jonathan Cutlip scoots away with 19 to go.
He's got to try it again, but I don't think he's got to have the run, is Burrell.
Oh,
but he might now because it hit the wall in front of him.
Reynolds slams the door on Hogan. Hogan rockets back to the inside to try to gain that spot back. Garrison Hogan's only chance is to get in the clean air and hope those 2 tires have enough grip to stick. And there you have it right now. Hogan surges back around the 4 tires of Blake Reynolds. And now Ethan Burrell looking to the inside. Reynolds blocks, looks to the inside of Hogan. Reynolds now trying to get it back from his teammate.
And Jonathan Cutlip loves this in his mirror.
They're not racing like teammates, I can tell you that. So up front is Cutlip. This battle for second continues to rage on. Reynolds dives in deep. It's the same move we've seen from him all season long. Throws it in real deep into the corner and washes up in front of the car on the outside. He clears for second. Then it's Hogan, Burrell, Matthew Weeks. Then it's Ethan Stanley in 6th. Rawls, McIntosh, Acosta, and Rexing the top 10. I had to say it because Carlos is in the top 10. It's pretty cool. All right, we won't say any more. Just the vision of the car. The vision of the car. You saw it. It was there.
Yes.
You guys keep an eye on the pylon. All right, we'll move back to this battle for third as Blake Reynolds with the 4 fresh tires tries to hunt down Jonathan Cutlip for the race lead in this throwback 200, the 250th Elite Belly Up Sports Cup Series race. Hogan with the 2 tires running third, and then Burrell and Weeks.
Especially in, say, the last 50 or so of these 250, how many times has it come down to the 5 and the 66 at the end of the race?
And it's come down to them in the championship twice. It's been a lot. And Blake Reynolds has gotten the better of Jonathan Cutlip a number of those times. I want to say late 2010s, and Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch were kind of finishing 1-2, but it was always Kyle Larson that got the best of Kyle Busch. Maybe it was also when like Jimmy Johnson was getting the best of Jeff Gordon. It's kind of how it feels with the 66 and the 5. It's two of the best in the series.
Oh,
see if Jonathan Cutlip can wrap one up.
Seamus off track.
Yeah, that car has, I think he's been off track already tonight. Battle for fourth rages on between another set of teammates as Matthew Weeks works to the inside of Ethan Burrell, the Stage 1 winner.
Oh, that's close.
Another couple of teammates that are not racing like teammates, man. I tell you what. Ain't no team orders in this series. You can see it.
Oh, no. I mean, it's 13 laps to go. Gloves are off at this point.
Racing hard.
And you look at the pylon, all 6 in the top 6 chase guys. You know they're trying to get every single point they can get.
I mean, I'm looking back. Gavin Hibbs is 1 lap down. I don't know what happened. He's 26th.
Maybe from that penalty?
I mean, maybe, but I don't... I'm not sure. We'll have to ask somebody maybe after the race, but what happened to Gavin Hibbs? But that is a championship-altering event, whatever it was, because he was in the top 10 just before. Now, I mean, it might take things down to Blake Reynolds and Ethan Stanley, and right now, that would put Blake Reynolds in kind of in the favorites, the driver's seat going into next week. To win his 3rd consecutive Belly Up Sports Cup Series championship. I mean, there must have just maybe he hit the wall or something before the caution came out. How about Ethan Stanley being able to save the 91 car and rebound back to 6th, not fall any more spots back? Because right now he's the biggest threat to Blake Reynolds. Battle for 10th, Carlos Acosta, Caleb Pacumer. Oh, Carlos moves up in front of Caleb. Caleb has to bail out of the throttle a little bit. It kind of cuts the run off of that 56. Seth Rawls inside of Ethan Stanley. Ty McIntosh looking on in 8th. Stanley's struggling a little bit. There might be some damage to that car from bumping around and spinning out. Did he take 2 tires? He might have taken 2 tires. Pit stop was a 14.8, so no 2 tires. He's got 4.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's must be an issue. Either way, he's falling back. Seth Rawls around the 91. They continue to battle. Let's bring in Ty McIntosh into the picture. Up front, Jonathan Cutlip has half a second lead on Blake Reynolds. That has not closed for the 4 tires of Reynolds yet. 7 laps to go. Battle for 4th continues. Matthew Weeks has not yet been able to get around Ethan Burrell. He'll finally clear him here. Weeks into 4th.
Will Burrell be able to cut down on the backstretch with the run? No.
Weeks into 4th. Seth Rawls clears Stanley for the 6th spot. It is Jonathan Cutlip leading the way. Deficit for back to Blake Reynolds. It grew. The advantage grew for Jonathan Cutlip that time. Of course, I say that Reynolds threw it into turn 1 last lap and gained about 1/10 of a second. So the 66 realized there's 6 laps to go. He's starting to wake up. Oh, maybe a little too much. Got a little bit of the wall.
Yep, and that's gotta hurt. You're gonna see the stopwatch update here. He's still, he had made up so much that first half of the lap. that it still was in the green, but you could see the margin on the pylon grow from that contact exiting turn 4.
Matthew Weeks inside of Garrison Hogan. Battle for third and the spot on the podium. Weeks clears Hogan. Weeks with 4 tires. Hogan with 2, remember. Hogan into the wall. Hangs onto it. Maybe incidental contact there. He buffed the paint out. Scuffed it up a little bit. And narrowed up the car. And Cutlip's starting to open up the gap on Reynolds now. I think Reynolds is driving it really, really hard, trying to make up the time. Jonathan Cutlip just has the clean air. He's done a really strong job of maintaining the 2 tires as Reynolds gets another piece of the wall. Matthew Weeks is on his way.
Oh, trouble on the front stretch. It is Paul Mikolajczyk and Rob Mooney. They came together exiting turn 4. That is going to bring out the caution and send us into overtime.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much higher Rob can go there.
No, there is a retaining wall there.
Rob, I really didn't want to say anything. Rob was having a good run inside the top 15.
Yes, he was.
And he had kept that car clean and dry. And he and Paul have come together here on the front straightaway. I don't think the damage is too drastic to either car. Big potentially championship altering update. Gavin Hibbs, lucky dog. He'll be back on the lead lap. So if he can pick up even 4 or 5 spots on this ensuing restart, I mean, that could be gigantic next week.
I mean, we talked about this, at Watkins Glen too, when Daniel Falkingham missed his start, but was able to salvage a good finish. Obviously, that's completely reversed tonight. He had nothing that vaguely resembled good fortune this evening, as there he is on screen. But, maybe there'll be Gavin Hibbs' turn to salvage a strong finish or a decent showing, some points on a night where it seemed like nothing could go right.
Garrison Hogan, the first car to head down pit lane. He was 4th, so he's hoping he can make the ground back up. Nobody else in the top 10 really comes down pit road. It's going to be all about this final restart for a whole lot of guys. First 16 stay out here. I mean, it's going to be a wild finish, but we've seen that leader have a really strong restart just about every time so far tonight, as Paul Mikolajczyk does get the tally for the caused caution. Looks like that wall contact did damage the Hogan car. He is still sitting on pit road. So this will be overtime. We will have potential for 3 overtimes if the caution does keep coming out. But if we get back to that white flag, that's it. Here, I'll let you explain it. I'm sorry.
No, you did great.
You have the floor.
No, you did it. You did it. You did fantastic. We'll have 3 attempts. If the caution comes out on the first lap, we try again. Once the white flag is displayed, the caution can't come out. It doesn't matter if they're upside down, on fire, in a tornado. I guess that could happen in Kansas. Talking to Dorothy, whatever the case may be, it's a race back to the checkered flag once the white is displayed.
Talked about overtime restarts late in these races, featuring the 5 and the 66. I think back to the Las Vegas race between Jonathan Cutlip and Blake Reynolds that featured one of the biggest wrecks in Elite Belly Up Sports Cup Series history. I might have wadded up 30 cars. I don't think we have 30 cars to wad up here tonight, but it happened on the white flag. And so Caleb Humer drove through it, picked up a top 5. his first top 5 in the Elite Belly Up Sports Cup Series in that race. It certainly could happen again. There's quite a bit of attrition that has occurred tonight where some guys could get some really good finishes if things boil down their way. Jonathan Cutlip, the race leader, he's had control of this thing. He was probably going to win without that caution flag coming out. He'll now have to fend off Blake Reynolds on this restart. Here we go. Cutlip with a great restart. He jumps Blake Reynolds. Matthew Weeks able to follow Jonathan Cutlip through the gears, and he'll get alongside Blake Reynolds, give Weeks an opportunity to challenge Cutlip for the race win. Yeah, Matthew Weeks is clear of Blake Reynolds, but if I know anything about that 66, he's going to really fight Matthew Weeks here.
A huge send.
It's going to be everything Jonathan Cutlip wants to see behind. They're side by side for second, side by side for fourth. Every which spot they wreck. Time McIntosh is around. Yellow flag. No.
No. The white's out. They've wrecked everyone. But they're going to have to race back to the line.
Blake Reynolds is clear of Matthew Weeks for second, but Jonathan Cutlip is way out in front. Hopefully the front straightaway is clear of cars by the time we get back there.
It's not going to be. Spoiler alert.
Jonathan Cutlip trying to gum off turn 4 and win the 250th Elite Belly Up Sports Cup Series race. Amidst the carnage and the chaos, Cutlip wins, Reynolds second, Weeks third, Rawls fourth, and Ethan Burrell finishes in fifth. A fantastic showing it was going to be for Ty McIntosh. He was in the top 10. He gets wrecked. Caleb Pecumer gets wadded up out of a top 10 result. Carlos Acosta was going to have a top 10 result. He got wadded up in it.
A lot of guys that were having really good nights getting caught up in this. Not exactly sure how it started.
It was Ethan Stanley went up and popped the wall and stopped in front of all of these guys is what happened. Stanley will finish 12th in the race, but it's that contact right there that slows up the 91 and the 10. Well, the 71 and the 10 gets cut sideways out of it as a result. Everybody else gets sent. Mark Rebelos hard into the wall. Acosta hard into the wall. Vandermarl Rex. Gibson, Goodman, Jones, Mooney. All pile in. And Jonathan Cutlip wins the race. Though he might have probably needed to have another restart to solve that one if the rules are rules. Let's go on board with Kurt Gibson and take a look at this final wreck before we interview the top 3 finishers. Yeah, it starts with that contact beneath Ethan Stanley, and then Kurt's going to get caught in the right rear by Carlos. That car hits hard. Garrison Hogan was involved. Ethan Stanley's going to receive the tally. Huge wreck. I mean, at least 10 cars. Got Rob Mooney and Trey Eidson both getting listed on the involved. I didn't even see where they were caught up in it. But we will talk to third place finisher Matthew Weeks and bring him to the booth now. Matthew, it's David in the booth. Congrats on P3, but looked like it maybe could have been a little bit more there. Maybe if you'd been able to hold off that darn 66. Take me through your night.
I just got really tight in 3 and 4 there at the end on that, come to the white flag. That was tighter than it has been all night, and it just would not turn. But other than that, it was a good night. I felt really, really good on the long run. We just never got to that part. Once I started really clicking, putting down some times and catching everybody, we would have a caution, and it was good. I think I made one mistake. Tate and I got really tight on the exit of 4, and it ricocheted me into the grass, and then I was surprised how fast I was coming, saving that and still driving back up to where I was at, and I really wanted to win. I needed the points, the extra points to win the race to really get myself back in there, but I'll take a P3.
Well, you mentioned the lawnmower race there you had with Jared Rexing there. Definitely a hairy moment. You rebound for the P3. Definitely you talk about kind of as that fifth guy into points right now. You were kind of the first one outside of that bubble of four guys underneath a blanket coming into tonight. And third place is definitely a strong showing, but like you say, you almost needed a win to help close the gap. You think maybe Wilkesboro or Homestead is a place you could pick up that win?
I was hoping I would win tonight, and then get me closer than have a decent finish at Wilkesboro. That'll put me there at Homestead, because knowing how I drive in Homestead there with the long run and it's a full distance race, I was like, dang, if I can just be close enough to actually contend, then boys better look out. And that's what I was really trying to do tonight. It's like I have to win next week if I think I'm going to have a legit shot at it.
And Matthew, I mean, obviously it's an uphill battle at this point. The chase just hasn't been quite what you were hoping for, but what can a P3 today and then, as good a result as you can muster next week do in your pursuit of the 2026 B championship later this season?
Yeah, I don't know. I just need to get back in the momentum. We've had the speed. I just haven't had the speed I've had in previous seasons. We've just been mediocre. I think the last two Cup wins I've got are Daytona and Atlanta Super Speedway. So, or as you call it, Echo Park now. So I think I need to get better in an all and be ready for next season, 26B. So I think in the off season, I'm actually going to race a little bit more, go back to what I was doing, spend a little bit more time at officials and learn the car and the air a little bit more. And once I figure that out, I think I'll be good. I mean, I got the speed. I feel like I got the speed on a weekly basis. We just don't get those super long runs that I'm so good at. If we ever have those and we go with distance, green flag to checkered every single week, I feel confident I could win 5 races a season. But we don't do that in Elite. We always have, a rash of cautions every race. So I gotta get better in little things.
Well, before we let you go, who do you have to thank on this third place finish?
My boy Justin Vandermeerl, at JV Designs, brought this banger that I've been running since the 600. It looks so good. I think I'm gonna stick with it for good now. Retire the black car I had. Shout out to Pro Edge guys. Ethan was stout tonight. I know we had a good battle right there. I think within like 20 laps to go, and that was fun. I wish I could have cleared him a little bit earlier. I think I had something on that run right there if we never had that late caution and I actually cleared Ethan sooner. But shout out to him. He had speed tonight. Justin, he was running good tonight too. The fueled up guys I've seen, they had some speed. Trey, unlucky again. Jesse, I think something happened to him where that last pit stop, he got a penalty when someone knocked the cone out. So that sucks for him. He was running good tonight. And shout out to John for winning the race. They're all good friends, same as the racecraft. We're all good buddies. We hang out pretty much every single day. So it was good to see everyone running strong tonight. And you guys in the booth, Chad for putting the league, all the sponsors, and hope everyone that watched it. It was an okay race. Wish we had those long green flag runs, but it was still fun.
Gotcha. Well, thanks, Matthew. Congrats on P3, and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, man. Have a good one.
Now we'll grab and talk to Blake Reynolds after a runner-up finish here. And, Blake, I leave the booth one time, you don't talk to us, and then I come back and you're right back here in the booth after the race on the podium. Take me through your night. Looked like you had a really good car, had a real shot to get Cutlip if that second to last caution didn't come out, but it seemed like that last caution was about your only chance to get him after that restart.
Yeah, I don't think I could have gotten John. My tires were just at the limit, and I think everybody's was. The moment, Stanley got to my bumper, Zeus got my bumper, Burrell got my bumper, their tires, caught on fire instantly when they got to me. So I think that's where the air, starts to die right there. And all those guys, were catching me, and then they'd get to me, and then it was just, the tires would overheat. My tires are overheated, I know that. So I was trying to get it on the left rear to rotate. I was getting on the brake, entering high in 3, and trying to do that Tyler Reddick cut down in 4. It was working, but just couldn't do much for John. John really won the race. Me and Garrison were talking. John won the race at lap 40 by getting out front and just being the head of the 4 tire strategy.
Well, David over here is taking credit for you missing out on the podium last week because it was while he wasn't here. I think you were just distracted last week because you were having to listen to Paul Mikolajczyk talk about the Flyers, and now you don't have to worry about that for the rest
Yeah.
of the season because they're out of
have
here.
Have you seen my super speedway stats in this league though? not anything to look
Sure.
at and praise. So
Sure.
I'm just glad I had a clean car at the end of that race. I
You
think I
did.
finished 11th. So
I'm seeing ninth. I'm seeing
Ninth?
ninth. So
Yeah,
that's
something
up
like
mid
that.
still. Yeah. Anyway, enough about how much the Flyers suck. You pick up another podium finish tonight. Obviously, I'm sitting here refreshing Sim Racer Hub like a madman to figure out what our standing situation is, but certainly not a bad one for you coming out of tonight. Going into these last two races at Wilkesboro and Homestead, how do you feel with the current situation? It looks like you might actually be leading the points now.
I think I came in leading the points, but
Right.
Falkingham having his troubles certainly aided that. I don't know how far John was back. I know Stanley was right with me, and he ended up getting into something on the last lap. He finished 12th. Not bad, but it's still good to have my teammates up there with me. It's nice to see that I chose good for my team, and just to have the representation toward the top like that. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I think I won the last North Wilkesboro race. That was on the old one, though. We haven't raced the new one, I don't think. I can't remember.
Might be right. I haven't.
Either way, it races
don't think we
similar.
have.
Yeah, it races similar. It's got some of those new kind of iRacing grip lanes. The top's really good in 1 and 2. In 3 and 4, it's got that step on the very top, but it's fresh pavement, so you kind of want to be on the bottom. It depends on the setup we'll have. Who knows if we'll get one of those awesome short track sets where you can get the left rear tire on the apron, get some drive up off the corner. Love when that happens, but we'll just have to pray to the iRacing fixed setup gods and see how that is.
Gotcha, Blake. Well, looks like with the update, you are 8 plan for Wilkesboro. Then obviously it's like you mentioned, it's going to be new, but you're going to go out there and take it to them. You're going to focus on the points battles, or you're just going to try to go win the race. I mean, obviously that's I think your strategy, but maybe elaborate for us. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it depends how it is. If I show up and I don't like the set, I'm just going to hope for a good points day. Today I told myself, look at that qualifying attempt. I mean, Dusty Dewar qualifying second. Shout out to Dusty, but I'm outside the top, 15 or something? I'm not usually starting there, so I was hoping for a good points day here today. Hopefully I'm not doing that next week. It just have to see how the setup is, and the field's pretty good at North Wilkesboro. I think we had very few cautions to start, and then 50 to go. We just can't go more than 5 laps. So the goal, I guess, I'll tell you that, 50 to go, be at the front, because you're not going to pass anyone after that. And then Homestead, I'm not that great at Homestead, I'll be honest. We'll just have to see how that goes, because I think maybe the other championship competitors are probably stronger than me there. So hopefully I can build a little bit of a buffer for that.
And before we let you go, who do you have to thank on this run tonight?
That'd be Channel 199 Sim Racing. Signed me, by the way. Didn't know they would do that. Just insane. Signed me the Cup Series.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Huh.
Yeah, had to wait until the first day of free agency to get my offer. With awesome sponsors like Track Racer Simulation and Racecraft Academy and Drink Machine Works. And thanks to Chad for putting this on. Hopefully he can get some laps in to finish the season. He has not had I think he's still in the double digits for laps so far the last couple of weeks. And then shout out to y'all for this broadcast. It's an awesome watch back. I like watching it on my lunch break the next day, so I will be doing that tomorrow. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Blake.
Shout out Paul Mikolajczyk.
Congrats on P2, and we'll see you next week at Wilkesboro.
Yes, sir. I'll see y'all.
I'm sure we'll talk to him. Now, for the race winner, That is Jonathan Cutlip. And John, I can't believe it's the first race you've won this season. Take us through the night, because it seemed like once you got out in front, this 5 car was a rocket ship, and you were really able to take advantage of the clean air better than everybody else.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. Just taking advantage of the clean air, and you're pretty much stuck where you're at. We were pretty quick, and I like Kansas a lot. I'm not really sure why. Like, I don't know what it is with Kansas. I just have a natural rhythm to it. But yeah, even with that, the next gen just helps that even more, because it's just so difficult to catch up to somebody and even attempt to set up a pass.
It definitely seemed like the track position was crucial for you late in the race, even with the 2 tires on that last stop, being able to get out in front while guys were fighting for second or third in that dirty air behind you. It just seemed like that was very important in your drive tonight.
Yeah, taking 2 tires definitely works in this car. It's just, you have to watch the left sides because they do wear out. So it's pretty much just a ticking time bomb as far as just when's that left front going to give up. And I wasn't sure if, I think it was like, 50 laps or so, I was going to have to run on my left side tires, and that was going to be asking a lot of it. But I was kind of just hoping that with the dirty air behind me, I was going to be enough to keep everyone back. And luckily, it was working out pretty well. Here come to 3 to go, and the caution came out, and I was a little worried that people like right behind us were going to take tires and just be a sitting duck there. But luckily, a majority of the field stayed out, and it was pretty much just a 3-lap run to the finish. We got a good restart, and just after turn 2, it's pretty much just drive into whatever lane they're going into. And luckily, we were on the right side of the track position tonight.
And John, obviously, with the regards to the championship, your chase hasn't been all that great. Got caught up in a wreck last week at Talladega and kind of kicked you way back in the point standings, but 50 some odd points out of the lead at this point with the win under your belt. I mean, it's going to require another one of these. So do you think you have it in you next week at Wilkesboro?
It's pretty much just it's been kind of over since the regular season. I just haven't really been able to put as much focus into this as I would have liked. But next week it's pretty much just going to be a survival race. I definitely like that track too, and Homestead as well. It's a good series of tracks for me. It's just last week was pretty much unlucky. Just a small tap, and our suspension got destroyed. It is what it is. Next week, I remember the last time we were there, the cars were snapping to the right, and I'm pretty much expecting the same thing. I'm not sure if we ever raced on the repave with this car, but it's probably not going to change a whole lot. It's just going to be a survival of the fittest type of thing, and just hopefully you don't get collected in a huge wreck and take ourselves out of it.
And before we let you go, who do you have to thank on this win tonight?
Shout out to you guys over here in Elite. Dave Huck, D West, Zach Evans. You guys do a great job week in and week out. That was a bit of a rough race, but when we got it going green, I hope you guys had a good show to watch and commentate on, because even though the dirty air is pretty bad in this car, it still has its moments to where it's enjoyable. Shout out to my team over here in Field Up Racing. They had a bit of a rough night. I saw Justin got wrecked right at the end. Gavin was having a rough night, but he rebounded for 11th. My EPI teammate and friend, Daniel Falkingham, he lagged out early, which is really frustrating for him. He was upset about that, but he was still there at the end. He was cheering us on, hoping to, close out the win. So shout out to all my teammates. Shout out to my mom. She watches every race. She was super happy to see me capture the dub here tonight. I think I got everyone tonight.
Awesome, John. Well, congrats on your first win of the season. You and I are both surprised it took you this long, but we'll look forward to seeing if you can't have another win another one here before the end of the year, and definitely next season.
Yeah. I'm not really surprised. It's just kind of just trying some things out. I annoy Jordan Owens when I say that, but it's always a fun time to learn things and try different things that may or may not work out. But yeah, hopefully the rest of the season and next season we can start to show out a little bit.
Sounds good. Congrats, John. Enjoy the win.
Yep. Have a good night. Thank you.
That is race winner Jonathan Cutlip, the winner of the 250th Belly Up Sports Cup Series race. He'll be a future trivia question for Zach Evans. And
You know it.
He mentioned something I want to touch on briefly. Remember when I said Gavin Hibbs picked up that lucky dog, and you never know what might happen. Well, that crash coming to the white flag, he picked up 15 positions, finishes 11th, saves effectively a shot at the championship. He's only 20 points behind Blake Reynolds. There's a very real shot Gavin Hibbs is involved in the championship fight. I mean, I would really say the top 6 all have an opportunity with these last 2 races, and it's going to maybe take some chaos from Blake Reynolds and Ethan Stanley to bring the rest of those guys back. But I don't think Daniel Falkingham's even out of this thing, right? So there's a lot of racing still to go. And after Kansas, we're excited to wrap up this season in the next 2 weeks.
Well, and a little bit of a programming note there, of course. We do have the trucks on Sunday at Chicagoland, the Grand National Series at Richmond on Monday, the 2003 Cup Series at Pocono on Tuesday, but then Wednesday begins kind of a break for everything here on the Elite Racing Network, which makes sense in the racing world, right? Memorial Day weekend coming up. A lot of people involved in this league, both on the track and off, are going to be going to either the greater Charlotte area or the greater Indianapolis area that weekend.
Yep.
It would be very entertaining for you to tune in. So
We don't have anybody does a double, do we?
I don't think so.
Anybody with
I
a
don't think
private
we have
jet that can make that flight?
I don't think we have anybody doing the double, but so next Belly Up Sports Cup Series race is not next Wednesday. It is not what would that be? The 20th. We will see you on the 27th of May from the updated North Wilkesboro Speedway.
That's right. So everybody have a good night, and we'll catch you then.